So are those controlled by the switch panel right there?
Yeah, that's all these switches are. So if we blind my baby up
No, don't do that.
Babe.
Okay, sorry. What's up, everyone? We're back in Colorado, and it hasn't even been like a week since we got home from Alaska, but I was itching to get out in the tundra and sleep in a tent. Lots of camping, because I love to do it. Now today we're doing the unthinkable and camping on 4th of July weekend. It's actually 4th of July right now. Not only that, we're camping with a baby.
Baby!
Will and Courtney are out here. When's the last time you guys were in a video?
Years?
A long time
Might
ago?
be the podcast, like the one that we did in the woods.
Or our last camping trip with Ashley.
True.
We played weed bowling.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, on the side of the van, that was a
Yeah.
good one. I'll leave a link to that one over here. This is our new baby over here. First time camping.
Whoop, whoop.
And Will's other new baby. Will bought a Gladiator. He sold the van and turned it into this crazy Overland rig with a Harker camper and a lot of cool stuff. You gonna give us a rundown later?
Yeah.
I guess I will give you guys a rundown of the truck setup, even though I kind of did it recently. I packed extra light on this trip because I wasn't planning on camping on 4th of July. Generally that sucks. We are in a very easy spot, very populated area, and there were RVs and campers and overland rigs and ground tents the entire way in here. We found this kind of secret spot down here hidden behind the rocks, and I think we'll be pretty good here all night. So the truck sitting about the same. I got the Free Spirit Evo short on here, Diamondback cover, a little bit of gear. Again, I went light on the gear, so I got the kitchen set up, rinse kit, chair. I do have my Free Spirit Ready light too for later at night. And then on the inside here, this is where it gets very light. Tiny little jackery right here. I didn't even have time to throw my fridge in here, so I'm just using a little Pelican 14 cooler. Got some ice and a little bit of food in there. That's pretty much it. The reason I have this though is for something kind of interesting. I didn't really talk about it in the Alaska videos, but this 12 volt plug here I have running up the side of the truck, and that is currently powering my Starlink. Now I've done videos about the Starlink a long time ago when I had the Kimbo on the Tacoma, but something that's different here is I had this thing sent out to a company that breaks everything down. This is like the older dish, the Gen 2 I guess it would be. They break all the components down, including the router, and they pack it all into a slimline dish like that. It is a true 12 volt unit, so it's drawing like maybe 35 watts right now. And that thing was living on top of the van the entire way through Alaska. I can use it while I'm moving, it works no matter where I'm at, and it draws little to no power, especially when you have something like a powerful van. Now the reason I sent the dish out for conversion is really for the reason that you see here. I am connected wherever I go, which means I can work a lot easier on the road without sitting in Walmart parking lots and places like that. It's also really nice in the case of an emergency, because if I get a flat or get stuck like I did actually where we're at, this is where I got the Tundra buried before, I can have connection and get help no matter where I'm at. So pretty cool thing to have, and it has magnetic feet on the bottom so I can move it between all my vehicles. I got a little traveling carry case for it, and it's neat. There's a bunch of different companies that kind of do these conversions now, and it might go away in the future because of how Starlink has been changing things with their new mobile dish and whatever, nerd stuff. If you guys want to hear more about Starlink and what I think about some of the new stuff coming out, like the mini dish, let me know and I can make a full dedicated video on all that stuff. All right, now it's time to check out Will's new build. This is going to be weird for some of you guys out there. Most of you probably are into Toyotas, but if you're into Jeeps, Will's got this one here. So what's the base of it? Let's start there.
So it's a 21 Willys, and I'm not super familiar with Jeep's lineup or trim levels. I know the Willys has a limited slip differential, but it was one of the super ugly, like low Gladiators when I first got it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw it when it was stock, actually.
Yeah, and it is a diesel. It's a 3-liter diesel. So it was bone stock when I got it. There was nothing done to it.
So let's start up front and work our way to the back. ARB bumper?
Yeah, ARB stubby. I think people say that you take a hit on fuel economy, but I just like the look of the stubby, and
Yeah.
it's nice having the approach angle on the tires there.
I'm a big fan of this.
And then I did cheap out on the winch. I went with Badland.
Dude, I've never talked about this. There's nothing wrong with that. For how often people actually use a winch, like, you could probably buy 3 of those before you buy something like a Warn.
Yeah, and the argument is like you don't want it to let you down when you need it, right? So like,
right.
So like maybe the $1,800 I would have spent on a Warn would have given me the warm fuzzy, but at the same time, I mean, like you just said, people never use them, and then when they go to use them, they don't work because they're water damaged or whatever. You know? So
I think it's a good looking winch, actually.
Yeah.
It is very similar to a lot of other ones out on the market. So
you're gonna find a theme, and how would you describe how I like build my vehicles?
I feel like you and I build vehicles similarly, but maybe you do way more research than me, and I do a ton of research, and then you end up going a route like that where I probably wouldn't do that just because of what I do. But
so what I thought you were going to say is that I overcomplicate everything.
Totally do that. Yeah. Okay.
So and you're going to see a theme of that, because like this was silver when I got it, that Badland logo, and like so was this the clutch handle there, and like those little things drive me nuts.
That drives me nuts too. All right.
So I do those little things. So
wheels, tires, suspension.
707s, 17-inch 707s on 35-inch open country AT3s. And then I went with a Clayton off-road kit. I don't know a ton about Jeep stuff. Like, I think Clayton is a decent brand, if not a good brand. But they came highly rated. They advertise, I wanted like factory ride quality, and this thing rides terrible, so I didn't want to make it any worse than it was already. Like,
it rides terrible from the factory already.
It's true. It's the worst vehicle I've ever owned.
It's capable though.
Yeah, it's reasonably capable. And then there's like some cool, this could be perceived as a gimmick, but this is the 4xe, which is the electric Jeep, the charge port, and a company called Grimm Off-Road makes your air connect there. So it's all plumbed, and it's the switch is on the inside, but it's all plumbed to run the air right there, which, I mean, maybe gimmicky, but also I just dig it.
I think that's super cool. I kind of wish my truck had that. Like some of the new Toyotas, they have them in the bedside, which I might be able to do on mine, but there's not a good solution out there yet. So you got rock sliders with steps on them.
Yeah, so rock slide engineering, just step sliders, and then I do have the armor with them too. That's the only armor that I have right now. The Willys does have a little bit underneath, but like the full belly pans and stuff, you just end up spending like thousands and thousands. I don't think I'm quite there yet.
It's not too crazy. And then this is the main part of the show here.
Yeah, so this is Harker Outdoors. This is their EXO, and they just came out with a model that's the EDC that doesn't have this bar, and that kind of makes a tent area right here, so it's big and open on the inside. I didn't want to deal with like canvas and stuff, like it felt like setting up a tent, so I just wasn't into it. But I went with this. It's kind of like a GFC on steroids, and I almost ended up going with the GFC.
Kind of Alucab-esque too, because of the way you can build it out.
Yeah. So everything you've seen here is from Harker. Like this is their storage system, their bench system. And then Dirt Circuit, if I'm not mistaken, I don't totally understand the dynamic, but I think it's owned by Harker, and that's a 200 amp hour flat lithium battery, which should be more battery than we'll ever need for what we're doing.
Yeah, that should be plenty. And then that powers stuff like, you got a Dometic 55?
Yeah, it's a CFX 55.
CFX 55. You have a whole power system for what are these?
Those are lights. So yeah, those are lights.
Okay.
And then I did end up getting a 2,000 watt inverter. This is a 40 amp DC to DC charger. So this is alternator charging for the battery, which is nice. Had the same thing on the van. I'm sure you have that on your Storyteller.
Yeah.
It's nice to just drive and then
be
topped
charged.
Off.
Yeah.
So propane heater.
That's and then inverter back there. You got some Molly panels.
Yeah.
And fire extinguisher. Axe.
So the big selling point for this one for me, so it's like an 80-20 split for this little section. So this little hatch pops up, but you're able to push this up like an Alucab. So it actually gives you the room to stand or sit in here.
I like that a lot because, like, I mean, all three of us could sit in here right now if it was raining.
Yeah, and there's
the
a
baby up
legit there's a legit queen size bed up here. It's an actual queen.
It's really wide.
Yeah, and it's 60 inches wide. This part's 80 inches long, and I think this little flap's like 20 inches.
That flap just tucks up out of the way too. That's nice.
And then this is hard plumb propane, and I also have my ARB twin in here. So it's nice because I can open up this valve that powers the propane heater, and then I have a quick connect on the outside for like my lava box.
Yeah, so over here he has the exhaust for the heater, quick connect here, which is rad. Actually, something else here, he has this back door which is completely removable, and there's a module that they make where you can, I guess, connect to the L-track here.
Yeah, I think it does.
That'll turn that into a table, so you could connect your propane right here into a grill setup and have like a kitchen off the side, which is pretty rad.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So the only other thing, which I already broke, is my Kamek awning. So it's like a quick deploy awning. You just pull it out, tension it. There's like a little ratcheting system there.
Yep.
I haven't really used it, but I did break it the first time out wheeling. So I literally tipped into a tree and like smashed this whole mechanism here in that company. Thank you, Kamek, because you sent me a new one.
Will was going over an obstacle, and then when he rocked over it, it just went boonk right into a tree.
So I dig it. It's a learning curve because, we had the van before. We did spend our honeymoon in a rooftop tent. I think that's about the time that you and I met.
James
Baroud.
James Baroud.
Les Paul.
The Les Paul tent. Same thing.
Yeah. So it's nice. 24 miles a gallon on 35s is cool.
And you also have a giant Wii Boost and a Starlink.
Oh, yeah, and 440 watts of solar on the roof, which is more than I had in my van.
Oh, I didn't even notice those.
Yeah.
Damn. So, I mean, you're never, ever out of power.
Yeah.
We're parked in the right position for this, too.
Yeah.
Sunny out here. So there you guys have some Jeep content. If you guys have any questions for Will, you can drop them in the comments down below, and maybe I'll be able to text him for an answer. Maybe he'll chime in.
I won't know the answer.
Will won't know the answer. He's not a Jeep guy, but he's liking it for stuff like this. So, cool adventure rig. I dig it. Still not a Jeep guy, though. All right, it is soon dinner time, and I'm going to be in charge of cooking because of the kitchen. And I know you guys have been DMing me and asking me a million questions about it. I still cannot talk about it just yet. However, later this summer, I'll be able to get another version of this and then finally share it with you guys. And then at that point, the product might be available to buy. We'll cross that bridge whenever that time comes. If you haven't seen it yet, this is a full camp kitchen in a box, and you can see it in other videos. While we're here cooking, check this new knife out. When I was in Idaho on my way back from Alaska, I swung by this guy right here, TJ Schwartz. This is his Overland Sport. So just like the Overland that I reviewed in the past, but a mini one. So I've been carrying this thing in my off-the-grid pants because it has like this 45-degree pocket on there. It's super tiny. Check this knife out.
I don't know anything about knives.
It's cool though, right?
It's super knifey.
Super knifey. The angle of it is so like when you're cutting on a board, so your knuckles don't hit.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Little lo-fi. Ketchup, mustard, pickles on the side, pickles in the burger. Not my best work, but it's the 4th of July. So.
Bless you. Happy 4th of July.
Made it to sunset. We just heard some Bigfoot as we were sitting around the lava box over here. Actually, here's a good example of Will's plumbed in propane. Quick disconnect coming from the camper over to here, and you got a fire. What do you have in there, a 20-pounder?
13.
13, okay.
Yeah.
So we're sitting around the campfire, and we had music going. We heard some weird noise. We're like, what is that? Is that a bear? Is that a dog? Some campsites nearby. I heard it over here. Courtney heard it over here. And Will heard it over there.
Will's deaf, though.
Will is deaf. So we turned off the music and Will went to inspect up on the hill over here, and then we actually heard them from all over the place. We've come to the conclusion that it's elk. I mean, it would be the time of year for elk to be doing that. They're not like bugling, but it was kind of like grunting.
It's not a bugle, it's like a growl.
Yeah, kind of like a grunt growl kind of thing. We have yet to see any, but
honestly,
we have Maya to protect us.
Yeah,
She's the
she'll
first one
abandon
to
us
abandon us.
almost immediately. Do you remember the last?
Get outta
Where did
here.
we go?
We saw brown bear the night we did Wee bowling. Yeah.
Brown bear that night, but we saw moose.
Oh, up in
my
northern
God.
Colorado.
It's like every time we go out with you, we see the animals I've never seen in Colorado.
Yeah.
Remember how wild that was when you just like put your flashlight up and they were literally
There was like
right
15 of
there?
them, yeah.
We were all
Yeah.
like,
that was like the moose capital of the
Colorado.
country, I think. Maybe
yeah,
Colorado. Yeah.
Walden? Was that where it was? No.
Walden. It was near Walden,
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking
where they
crazy.
filmed Dumb and Dumber. We went
Yeah.
to the lodge where they stopped on their cross-country
I
journey.
forgot about that.
All right, hear me out. When you say hear me out, it's always something dumb. So we recreate the Dumb and Dumber scene on Groms. We don't ride two up. We each ride our own Grom. There was a motorcycle channel that did that, and I think we watched it together actually. They
Yeah, it's
did
incredible.
it on.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
And they went two up and they rebuilt that scooter that they actually did it on, that Lloyd and Harry did it on.
Yeah. And he had to like replace a tire in like a hotel room and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I'm 100% down to do that on Groms.
It's like
I don't
it's
think
from
Grom would
like
make it.
Nebraska to Aspen, I guess.
Yeah.
It sounds miserable.
How long do you think that would take you?
Well, our Groms at this point, I mean, we could average 55. So it wouldn't take that long. It's just exhausting being on that little bike for so long.
I feel like we could easily do 250-mile days.
So what's 250 divided by 50? So if we're doing 50 miles an hour, it's 5 hours of riding, dude. We could do more than that.
I'm saying easy.
Yeah,
We could
yeah.
probably do even more than that.
Yeah.
I'm on knobbies.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I should be on slicks though if we're gonna do that. Maybe we'll save that for a future video. I don't know.
Can we bring the lava box with?
Can you have a side cart?
Yeah.
We're old, and it's time to go to bed.
At least 8:45.
At least. We made it to 10.
Oh shit! It is 10. So it's way
10,
past
10.
my bedtime.
Now, I will say, I'm generally not very jealous of people's camp setups, but when I only have a rooftop tent, you have a full camper, pretty jealous.
Yeah.
Will has his propane heater running now, so the same propane that was running our fire. Kick that on so the baby stays warm tonight.
So we're at 198 amp hours on a 200 amp hour rated battery, and I've been running stuff since we've been here.
Yeah, you got all these exterior lights. I didn't even notice those before.
Yeah, there's one down here, and then there's one up here, and two on the side.
So are those controlled by the switch panel right there?
Yeah, that's all these switches are. So if we blind my baby up
No,
top-
no, don't do that.
Babe.
Okay, sorry.
All right, dude. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, buddy.
If you hear me talking to myself, it's just me talking to myself. I'm just going to leave all that stuff out.
I have the ready light positioned kind of east, so in the morning when the sun comes up, it will get charged. Perks of having a solar light at camp. Now, if you asked me about a year ago, I typically would never use a boot bag or a shoe bag, but the Evo packs up so easily, and it's actually kind of nice to have this on here. That way you don't have to have your dirty, dusty, muddy shoes up in the tent with you. It is going down to a low of only 41 tonight, which is not too bad. We're a little bit higher in elevation than Denver, obviously. We can still hear some fireworks off in the distance, but we're pretty far away from people. I'm kind of proud of ourselves for coming out on such a busy weekend and finding a spot like this. So definitely off the beaten path, far enough away from everyone else that's out here. We did good. I'm not even going to turn on my Free Spirit warming blanket because I don't think I'll need it. It's going to be a 3-window open kind of night. I closed the back window for now, got the ends and the main door open, and then I have both of these air vents open as well as the main one across here. This thing disperses heat like crazy, so if it does get a little bit cold, I can close that and retain a lot of heat with just this little flap right here. So now I'm gonna kick back, probably watch a movie, and we'll pick up again tomorrow morning. Good morning, everyone. It is, I don't even know what time. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. The sun is finally up, hitting our tents and stuff. And it was a beautiful night. Got down to about 40 degrees. Kind of wish I would have slept with my windows closed though. Not for the cold, but for the light. I was nice and warm in my tent.
And Will had his first night in the camper.
Yeah, it was good.
I heard you running everything. You had
Yeah.
the propane, you had movies going.
Yeah. So everything did well. I dumped like 70 amp hours of battery overnight. So we still have like 100, woke up with like 130. I had the Starlink, the WeBoost, the fridge, propane heater, inverter, like a ton of stuff running. So I'm super happy with the power.
And the baby made it through the whole night too without making a peep.
Dude, he slept like an angel, and Courtney and I got to combine like 2 hours of sleep. So
Now we are both making the decision of either camping another night. We are going to part ways. I might meet up with Sam and Mike and Jake, but no one is responding to my text, so I might end up just going home. The odds of finding another spot like we did without seeing a single soul the entire time we were here, especially on this weekend because now it's Friday, odds of that are very low, but I'm always down for a challenge like that, so we'll see where this day goes. We might camp again, or might just wrap this video up at home. What's up? Back at home. I realized that I never really filmed an outro to this video because honestly this video wasn't even planned. It was a late-minute camping trip and whatever. It was still fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Will's Jeep overview. And to round things out, I figured since there's really no direction in this video, I want to show off my garage because I just put a lot of work in once I got back from that big trip, and everything is kind of set up for the rest of the year. I actually made some space here for another vehicle, and we will talk about that soon. Now over here I have completely purged all of my camping gear, and I kind of organized everything that I have. So miscellaneous truck parts, stuff for the Kimbo, camping gear, rumple blankets, bags, sleeping gear. Got all sorts of kitchen items, recovery gear, tons of batteries, and I'm excited. I don't know if anyone cares about this, but I'm a huge fan of organization, as you can tell. Now I still have a bunch of skateboards that I should probably get rid of. There's like 2 that I'm gonna keep, and then regular kickboards, but haven't done any e-board content in a while. There's a chance that I could do something. I'm more of a fan of all the one wheels, which are over here. Got all my helmets lined up here for moto content, and of course there will be some more of that coming soon. I've got all my tools over here. Everything is charged. Everything has air and oil and fluids topped off, including the Supra. This is kind of the workbench that I built, which has all kinds of adhesives and straps and chargers and bolts and nuts and basically everything that I need to kind of work on stuff around here. I just used a bunch of my Adams Polishes products to, of course, do some detailing, and I finally cleaned up the Sur-On. I really want to bring this thing on some trips this year, and I know you guys haven't really seen it since probably last year, just briefly on some van trips, but I did order a new carrier for both the Tundra and the van, so you can expect to see me bringing this thing out on some adventures here shortly. Got the one wheels over here. I just recently, like yesterday, unwrapped the Grom, so all flat black. This is how the bike kind of looked when it came from the dealer, and I'm planning on rewrapping that sometime soon with my buddy Jake. The Ruckus, I will probably get this thing out again. It's actually been having a little bit of a trouble starting, which is surprising because I just rode it not too long ago. So I hardwired a battery tender on there, and I'm just gonna let that thing charge. Hopefully it doesn't give me any issues. Roam cases, fridge, APL 55. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that, but it's taking up some space out here. A lot of this stuff I can kind of push to the back to fit something else in here. Tuned up all of the bikes. I'm probably gonna go out for a mountain bike ride later today after I get some more work done. The Turbo Levo, I got that thing ready as well. Updated the Super 73s. They make a lot more power now, and I actually have a shed in the backyard where I have both of my zoos, and I have that shed powered with solar so I can charge everything while I'm out there. So that is how the garage is sitting. I'm super stoked on it because I love the organization. Not sure if you guys care, but got some cool stuff that's going to be coming out of here in just a couple of weeks. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it was kind of impromptu and really had no plan. I've got some more work to do around here, and I will fill you guys in on all those details really soon. So if you're new here, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every single week. As always, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.